Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Friday, November 21st, 2008, and today we're reading Exodus chapter 3. And now we're going further with the story of Moses. And remember yesterday we learned about when he was born and his mother put him into the ark. But now he's gotten a little bit older, and as I was reading this chapter, it's kind of funny because I had a question in my mind, and as I was reading, Moses actually asked the same question. And the Lord answered him, and I guess he answered me in the same way too, and that's what I want to share with today's Lessons for Life. But as I was reading, the Lord appeared to Moses, and he was speaking to Moses, and he basically told him that he wants him to go into Pharaoh and to really be the one to spearhead to get his people out of Egypt. And as I was reading it, the question that came to my mind was like, Who is Moses? Why did he pick Moses? Because there wasn't anything that I saw special or particularly unique from the chapters that we read so far about Moses. Remember we read yesterday about his mother and father. Actually, they didn't even name his mother or his father. We just know that he was of the descendants of Levi. And so the question that came to mind was, who was Moses, and why was he picked out of anybody else that was at that time? And you see further on, after the Lord speaks to him and tells him what he wants him to do, Moses asks basically the same question. He says, who am I that I should be the one ready to lead the people out of Egypt? And the Lord's answer to him was simple, and it was he basically said, certainly I am with thee. And that was the Lord's answer to him, and it was really the Lord's answer, I guess, to my question I had in my mind too. But really, what I saw from that is that Moses by himself wasn't going to be able to accomplish all this thing, but now as he partnered even with God, then he was going to be able to accomplish what the Lord had wanted for him to accomplish, which was a great task. And the lesson I believe that we can get from this, or the lesson I know we can get from this, is that us by ourselves are limited in our abilities. And a lot of times we'll even doubt our abilities or doubt the things that we can do, but and it's really not about trusting in yourself or trusting in your own abilities. It's more about trusting the God that's in you, or trusting your relationship, your partnership with God, that you're able to accomplish the different things that you're supposed to accomplish, that you want to accomplish, the great tasks that you might have in your life that you want, that you're supposed to do, which may seem like leading your people out of Egypt. It's a great task, but as long as you're partnering with God, that's really what you're trusting in. You're not trusting necessarily in yourself, but really trusting in God and God's power, and you working with God's power. And honestly, growing up, and I've kind of had this mentality, or I've noticed certain things that I was younger, even to today, that when I saw different people, different, let's say, stars or celebrities or things of that nature, people who many would look up to, or I would look up to as well too. But it was never at a point where I didn't say, well, I couldn't achieve that, or I couldn't get that. And the reason really why for that was, it wasn't the person that was any different from me. And I realized that there's no difference between them and me. It's really just them activating certain things, or actually tapping into using the power that God has given them to get or to accomplish the different things they've accomplished. So as long as you're able to work with God and allow God to be in control of different things, or really partner up with Him and have Him as your the one you really trust in, not trusting in yourself, so to say, but really trusting in God, then you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. And just like He answered to Moses, certainly I am with you. And that was His answer to, who am I? Because there really is no difference with all these, with the, man himself. Because like I said, man in himself is limited. But when he partners with God, certainly He is with thee. And when he's conscious of that partnership, when he's conscious of that God power that he is working with, then he's able to accomplish great things. So that's the thing that we have to learn to adopt in our lives as we're going every day. Not necessarily, like I said, trusting in your own abilities or trusting in yourself, but really trusting in God's power and partnering up with that power, and then going forth and accomplishing things that you need to accomplish. So that was there was a lot more in this chapter, so as always I do encourage you to read through the entire chapter. There really was a lot more, and I'm not going to touch on that, but this was the immediate thing that stuck out to me, because like I said, it was a question that I had in my mind when I was reading it. Well, like I said, why was Moses chosen? but it was really Moses partnering with God that was going to be able to create this release of the people from Egypt. So that's today's lesson for life. Go ahead and create yourself a wonderfully blessed day, and as we learned today, create yourself a blessed day with God's power, and we will talk again tomorrow.